I'm here only to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent you who sent me. I do not need to know what to do, what to say. You who sent me will direct me. I am content to go where you wish, knowing you go there with me. I will heal as I let you teach me to heal. Teach me to heal. I offer this holy instant to you, teacher. Be you in charge. We would follow you, certain that your direction gives us peace. We invite and we invoke your guidance, your voice, your presence to guide us now. And we give thanks for this chance to share, to bless, to truly join. We ask that this time serve your plan, that love be served through these bodies, through these words. Amen. So let me again welcome you all to this meeting, this gathering, truly a joining. And to thank you for being there, being present. I want to talk a little bit about joining and the meaning of joining and what I'm learning in these days which are given to be isolating. What I'm learning is how precious relationship is. What I'm learning is that my body is not necessary for me to relate with you, for me to join with you. My son called this week and we had a wonderful conversation. Conversation started off with this expression of sorrow, feeling of loss, the experience of distance between us, and now more distance. The need to cancel visits and the wonder of what we would do if any one of our family members who are spread all over the United States, what would we do? How would we respond in the face of the danger of a virus? And it was so blessed. It was so blessed to feel all those feelings, because those feelings led me to understand my son and myself. It was through the grieving and the loss and the sorrow that I found something so precious. I lost the screen here.
No, somebody started sharing their screen. Bruce, you're sharing your screen. You gotta. I'll see if I can unshare that.
We're talking about sharing, and of course, Bruce, you would share. What happened was that in the feeling, I came to understand myself and my son. Through the expression, I got to know me and I got to know him. And that knowing was more than just an intellectual idea. It was remarkable to me how totally connected we were. How love had expanded both my consciousness of myself, of what I am, of where I am, of space and time, and joined me. That I was in his heart and he was in my heart, and that heart was not in any body. That heart was in love and was love. And the experience was a greater joining than bodies might have in the very same room. And so I understand how precious relationship is. I understand how precious it is for us to express to each other our feelings, our fears, our doubts, who we are, what we're experiencing. Not so that we fall into the bog of pity or helplessness, but beneath those feelings, beneath that softness, beneath the fluidity and the openness and the breaking down of the body boundaries of separation, the breaking down of the boundaries that I am just this person over here, all separate by myself, was understanding. And underneath understanding is a remarkable capacity to feel ourselves as joined. I understand you. That is incredible. And you understand me. Even if we're in different camps, even if we don't agree about things, I understand you. You understand me. It's remarkable. And underneath the understanding, deeper than even the understanding, is the innocence, the purity, the holiness of the Son of God. And it is that which reaches across the miles to recognize itself, to recognize, as the Course says, the Son of God. And when I recognize that, I find myself. I find the experience of God there and here in one heart as love. I want you to just take a minute and feel what's going on for you. As you're watching me through a screen, I'm asking you, what seems to be the barrier? What seems to be keeping you separate from me? What do you feel is keeping you separate? Notice. Notice your belief that There are miles between us. Notice your belief that we're in separate bodies, in separate places. Notice your belief that, well, I feel separate from you because you're a woman and I'm a man. I feel separate from you because I don't quite understand what you're saying. Notice all of the reasons, all of the bars of the prison that the senses and the small mind would create between me and you right now. Those very same bars that you believe are your trap as you try to protect yourself from others, from viruses, from stuff out there. Just notice. And then notice what it is. It makes you feel joined. What makes you feel connected with me? My heart, as I say that, is just expanded, just opened. My heart is searching for you, feeling for you, wanting and desiring to hold you close. What could stop my love? And what could stop you? A screen? Technology? No. Fear? Fear. The prisons that we build, the disbelief. This is the beginning of a learning of holy relationship in which these bodies take a back step. And these feelings, this softness of being, this openness touches you. As I touch myself, as I hold myself, as I allow myself the vulnerability to express my feelings, positive or negative, happy or sad, holy or unholy, here I am. Here's my heart. My heart is filled with desire that we be joined. Would God separate us? I don't think so. Is there anything that could separate us? I don't think so. But are you willing to change from the view of reality and the dominance of the senses into the softness, the openness, the wisdom of your heart? Are you willing? I'm so willing. I'm so ready. I've been preparing for this. Jesus has been preparing me for this for years and years and years. And I am not going to waste time complaining about, oh, I'm stuck in the house. Oh, I'm all alone. Oh, I'm afraid that I'm going to get sick. I don't want to give my attention to the idols of sickness. I want to give my heart to the God in you. To recognize the God in you is one and the same as that the God, the Spirit, the love in me. And I want to feel that presence. And I can feel that presence because I feel the presence of God. And what are you but Son of God? So this time the world is screaming at us, right? That we have something to fear. The world is screaming at us a picture of the denial of God. The world is screaming at us that separation is our idol. I don't want to bow down to that God, and I don't have to. I don't have to accept attack thoughts or even try to figure out how to fix it. I want what was promised to me in the pages of what I read as truth, holy relationship. And it doesn't end because I'm seeing you as a picture on a screen or you're seeing me in a camera. Dare to let your heart feel me. And if you do, you will feel only love. Right now, only love. And a tinge of sorrow. A tinge of sorrowful compassion. Which is my work as I look out on the world. Wanting for this new world to come right away. Without any suffering, without any pain. But he tells me what God created is perfect. Don't keep your eye on the illusion. Keep your eye on the thought of the perfection of God's Son. Not the idol of sickness. This is a time for us to really inquire from our love. Our love is the voice of truth. From our hearts, what is it that I believe? What is it that I know to be true about reality? Where have I invested my faith? What is it that I believe about God? We are coming into this season of resurrection. It's a wonderful time to take a look at what you think is going on. Such simple truths are shaking and quaking now. Do you believe that God is real? Or do you look out at the world and say, oh, well, I don't know where you are, God, but If you did this, you really suck, and maybe you're taking a nap. Is God real? And if God is real, you, all of you who are here, have been practicing a belief system, a thought system. You're not here by random, right? You were called to be here. You're thirsting for love, for understanding, for connection, and for God. It's time to ask. We are crossing the bridge from the old to the new world. Right? The universe is pressing the refresh button. I cannot cross that bridge unless the conditions are right. And one of the conditions is that I need to ask myself, do I believe that God is real? And if I believe that there is the reality of a presence, a power, a force, a being, an intelligence, do I believe that intelligence is love? The very most basic questions. Catechism, first grade. God is real, right? God is love. Is the God the reality that you live in? Is it love? Or are you investing in something else? How easy it is to invest in the something else. We call it fear. We call it illusion. Now, please understand, I'm not in denial about all that's going on in the world right now. I'm not without compassion. I'm not without sorrow or grief. But I am asking myself, child of God, is your God love or not? And if your God is love, how do you know? What's your proof? You remember that I said, write down your miracles. Go back to those experiences in your life when you knew without a doubt. You've forgotten them now, but you knew then without a doubt that there was some loving, divine order and authority, and that the effects in your life were not effects that you made, that you caused. They came through you as an effect of something much greater that your small mind could not have planned. Remember that. And if your God, your reality, this being, if that is love, then you too must be that. So ask yourself, am I created? Do I believe that being, loving, intelligence created? That it is the experience of itself here, through me, and everywhere? Or am I making myself? Am I anonymous? Did I just happen out of biology? Am I a mistake? a mutation? Am I an evolution of just, I don't know, what do they say? What are those molecules and those things? I've forgotten my science. Maybe we're reptiles, right? What do you believe? And if you are finding yourself faltering because the god of sickness is breathing down your neck, be still. Be still. Rest. Ask for that God, that reality, to increase your knowing, your faith, and your feeling of what is true. We are not going to figure our way out of what's going on. We are not going to understand it here. And we are not going to get rid of it by blaming somebody else, a president, a doctor, a country. There's only one way out, and the way out is in. The way out is by your going back to basics and saying, yes, I am created. I believe that I was made, created in the likeness and the image of loving intelligence, of being, of something that had the same desire that I have in Minnie, right? Something that wants to extend and gave itself to join with me. Not only to join with me, but to give me that power of joining. That I might be in relationship with it, that it might know itself and understand itself as good, beautiful, holy, and that I might give it to you, that I might understand myself as love, as compassion, as wisdom, and that I might extend that being, that holiness, that perfection into everything I see. What are you feeling now? Fear, doubt, loss? What are you feeling? This week I wrote a poem called Softness is Your Strength. And she just kept calling me adoration in the poem. A couple of times the word came out, adoration, adoration. Softness is your strength, adoration. I'm like, who is adoration? And I realized adoration is what I am. Adoration of all creation. Adoration of the source. And the source is adoration of all creation. I am adoration. What a wonderful time for the softness, the devotion of adoration. You want to remember God? Reach inside, sit in quiet, and adore what comes. Again, there's no separation between you or I between creation, anywhere. There's no space between us. There's no distance. I am in you. You think you're hearing this voice from outside somewhere? I'm in you, and you are in me. Sometimes it helps me to close my eyes, and I can feel your presence in me. And I can extend my presence, that I can feel the presence of God and the witness holding us all in this womb, in this labor, and in its love. There's nothing random going on here. This is the next step in the lesson. Holy relationship. True joining. Forgiveness of everything else. Really being willing to learn what it means to love. Are you willing to really learn what it means to love? To extend, to give. Here's our classroom. And as I said last week, we don't stop having an individual uniqueness. That the God that is real is experiencing itself through you with all of your beautiful traits and characteristics and talents and idiosyncrasies, with your gifts, your humanity. And it is love through your individuality, not through separation, through your uniqueness, that is most sorely needed and most wonderfully received. God would use you that way, if you will allow. But that can't happen unless you are willing to see yourself, unless you are willing to love yourself and trust in your sonship. I want to open it up to you. I want to hear about feelings. I want to know what questions you're asking yourself these days. I have been writing down all kinds of questions on scraps of paper that come to me because this time in my life feels like the time when I can truly and deeply reflect. Self-reflection, inquiry. What do I believe? What is my spiritual path? Is that the only possible spiritual path for Mary Beth? Is that the only way of seeing the reality of what is? Is there something more that's knocking on my door that wants to come in? Do I believe in a totally, absolute, loving God? And if I do, why am I affirming the idol of sickness? What's between me and my brothers and sisters? What's between me and God when I feel alone? What are your questions and what are your feelings? Your feelings will bring you your own inquiry. And your inquiry, your feelings and your inquiry will bring you understanding. And when you have understanding, you have relationship with yourself, with God, and the capacity for relationship with other. Okay. Take a breath. What's up? What's happening for you? What do you want to say? What's your question?